Kaylee, and today I'm going to be reviewing C.S. Lewis's God in the Dock. I've been reading a lot of C.S. Lewis and Tolkien this year as part of my goal to read one C.S. Lewis or J.R.R. Tolkien related book every month. And so for this past month, it was God in the Dock. Before we dive into what I thought of God in the Dock, we're going to reach back here to our Booktuber Shoutout book, and we're going to shout out somebody randomly. Today's shout out goes to Curious Reader. I will leave a link to their channel in the description, so be sure to go over and subscribe to them. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you love C.S. Lewis like I do. And be sure to follow me over on Instagram and Twitter and Goodreads and Storygraph and all the places. You may notice that my shelves are a little bit chaotic today because my brother is building me some new bookshelves. And so the old bookshelves had to go, and so everything's just kind of higgledy-piggledy until we get those new bookshelves installed. So just bear with me in the midst of the chaos. Let's talk about God in the Dock. This collection of essays and letters from C.S. Lewis covers a wide range of topics, including Christmas traditions, miracles, vivisection, morality, dogma, and prayer. He talks about how a God who is good can allow pain in the world, briefly summarizing concepts from his book, The Problem of Pain. He talks about the common man of his day and their objections or misunderstandings that keep them from believing in Christ. He talks about the decline of religion in Britain and Christian truths that are hidden in pagan mythology. He answers questions, refutes common mistakes of his contemporaries, and responds to criticisms from his fellow intellectuals. Some of it felt like I was coming into a conversation after the people had already been talking for an hour. Because I didn't hear what the first person said, then I have little or no context for the responses. So since I have not read whatever article or essay was published by Dr. So-and-so, now I'm lost reading Lewis's reply to them. Other things were a bit confusing to me because I'm just not familiar with the knowledge or common traditions that were widely known in Lewis's day. Thankfully, some of the footnotes explained these things, but I still found myself lost some of the time. I don't always agree with Lewis in his theology, but I always appreciate that he makes me think deeply about a wide variety of spiritual subjects. In many of these essays, he poses a moral question, dances all around it from every perspective, shows how the atheistic or political perspective is wrong, and then kind of leaves it to you to find an answer for yourself. The only obvious option left at the end is Christ, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Lewis leads you right to the edge of the water, but it's up to you to take that little extra inch and get a satisfying Christian drink of living water. I skipped the last section of this book, which is some of C.S. Lewis's letters, because I've already read a much larger compilation of Lewis letters, so I kind of skimmed over them here. I didn't really see anything new, so I just skipped it for now. I was annoyed that several of the essay topics repeat themselves. There is an essay about the pains of animals, and there's another one titled Vivisection, which have almost exactly the same material. Lewis reuses some of the same illustrations for slightly different topics, so it did get kind of repetitive. However, I still enjoyed it because his writing is just so wonderful in every respect. His words are so vivid, so powerful. His logic just makes sense. He leads you clearly from one point to the next so you can see each link in the chain as you go along. There's something truly natural, almost like elemental about his arguments. You can look around you at your own life and say, ah yes, he described it exactly. Yep, that is the way the world works. That is reality. What he's saying here is true because I can see it every day in our society around us and how God works in people. It's not like he's just spouting some kind of mystical, spiritual mystery that I can never understand or observe. He cuts right into the heart of things and clearly shows you the inner workings behind the glitter of the world. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Because of the repetitiveness, I thought about giving it 3.5 stars, but that's more of a criticism of the editor who compiled these essays, not a criticism of C.S. Lewis's actual content in those essays. So I just was like, I'll just give it 4 stars. It's fine. It's good. I feel like I've read so much of C.S. Lewis now that most of the concepts and illustrations and ideas in these essays were nothing new to me. Like I had already kind of heard basically most of this already. But it was still lovely to go back over those things. And while I may not have learned anything new because I've just already read so widely from this author, I did enjoy reading it and kind of reviewing over some of the concepts that I've already heard him talking about in other books. Please leave me a comment and let me know what is one of your favorite nonfiction works from C.S. Lewis. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.